Father bought the building in the mid-50s. We manufactured wood doors there for 60-plus years. It was a vibrant family business. In terms of what has happened, my cousins have taken a portion of the business, and my brother and sister have taken another portion of the business, and they've moved. Partially to Jersey, rents are cheaper. It's more easy to get employees of the caliber they're looking for, although they brought a lot with them. And because we all owned it at that point, we were talking about the various uses, and it came down to tearing it down was the only thing that we could kind of come to. And that really wasn't what I thought it could be best utilized for. I grew up in the building. I've been going there since I'm 10 years old. Weekends, vacations, so on. And I love the building. It's part of my family's history. It's part of Nassau's history. And I'm really deeply rooted in the community. Like I said, I've been 35 plus years. I'm 52. Much of my life has been spent.
Have you, we'll go back to the uses that you plan to replace, and if anybody on the committee wants to ask questions, you can, but have you tried to lease the place to a manufacturing facility, or what do people want to use?
We have, and by and large, it has come to more of manufacturing goods that are manufactured somewhere. I'm sorry, warehousing goods that are manufactured somewhere else, as in the 99-cent stores and so on. Because there is a large portion of the property which is outdoors, the plan at times for them were to put in sheds or stack containers and so on. And I just think that really kind of underutilizes and changes what that was built for. It was built in 1903 to manufacture glass by the Gleason Tybo Glass Company that started manufacturing glass and other things like it prior to the 1850s in Greenpoint. And the manufacturing facility still stands at the end of Manhattan Avenue, and I guess it's back of the Midtown Tunnel. And it was built as an adjunct to that when they didn't have enough manufacturing space. So it really does have incredible history and has been there. We've used it to manufacture, and it's been part of, the Nassau scene for a long time.
For people who don't know where it is, can you explain where it is?
It's basically one block off of Metropolitan Avenue on Flushing Avenue, at the corner of 54th Street and Flushing Avenue.
The map right behind you to point that out.
Okay, this is going to be a test.
Metro is in front of your eyes.
Failing.
Metro is here. Flushing, Elliott's here.
Flushing there.
Flushing, where's Flushing?
To your right.
Brand. So Flushing
That's Flushing.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's,
Metro and Flushing.
Oh.
Right down the corner.
yeah, somewhere.
Right around the corner from Bopex.
Yes, Bohack Square.
He's trying to get
It's right there.
Yeah.
So it's this one.
Okay. Your eyes
Do you-
better than mine. This piece right here.
The building has smokestacks, and you plan to take those down, you plan to change the building off?
Maybe that was my phone that I leaned on.
Yeah.
That's Siri.
So you don't plan to do anything, and there's parking, did you say 100?
Something like that. Again, it's somewhat flexible because we're waiting for the judgment and we'll incorporate what DOB says.
And it's one story, and there's some basement.
There's a cellar, yeah.
There's a cellar, it's not a second story. Might you put a loft there, and how many square feet?
It's 50,000 on the main level.
50,000?
Thereabouts, 45.
Yeah. Other questions? Go ahead, Vinny.
Well, first I want to state, I know the family, I did business with them 40 years. I was in the construction industry. I was good business. My question, maybe not as a question, but a statement. I think we're ahead of the line here. since according to all the records we've seen, there is no valid C of O for this usage that they're proposing, so that an application to the state liquor authority would automatically be turned down because you don't have a valid C of O. You mentioned before a public assembly permit. Well, you can't get that till you get the C of O.
I can mention that,
Yeah.
that's fine. The SLA, it's entirely common to submit an SLA application in advance of a C of O. They obviously won't issue the license until they have a C of O. But it's standard practice at this SLA to go through the application process, have it approved, and then have it not released until you can show them a valid C of O with a PA. We had one set of plans that we submitted to DOE, and it was withdrawn, and then we have another set, and we're waiting for the initial plan examination on that in a couple of weeks. And so they are processes that can happen sort of simultaneously. But you're absolutely right, the SLA will not issue a license until the DOE has deemed the building safe and up to code for its intended use. But again, very standard practice to have the application in, have a judgment passed, and then walk over the C of O once it's in hand, if it comes second,
Now,
which it may not.
We've asked the advice of our city planning person, Queen City planning person, and he said that on August 30th, the planning examiner disapproved their application for a place of assembly to accommodate 5,000 people. He's saying that they estimate the cost, that you were estimating the cost of interior renovations at $10,000, which is a very low figure, possibly explaining why the plans were disapproved.
It's not my understanding that they were approved. It was my understanding that we withdrew them, which may yield the disapproved language on their site. I don't know if they say withdrawn, but anyway, that's my understanding.
Okay.
The $10,000, I looked into that after the question was raised, and it's true, and it's unfortunately just an erroneous error. Our contractor who filled it out put that in, and it's something that we'll obviously have to address, and it'll be correct on the set that we pursue.
I think the disapproval of the PA is based on not having a valid C of O.
The Buildings Information System website shows that your C of O is not up to date.
Right. That's
You
why
applied for a work permit in June,
they would have to automatically disapprove the PA.
and their application was disapproved. Is that something you guys are looking into? I don't even know if that's under in our jurisdiction as far as a
Well,
liquor license.
we know that
No, no,
We're talking about.
Well,
a liquor
the
license
only
going to land
point
use.
is that if you are going to comment on a liquor license at this time, the only thing you can really say is that you have to be against it because there is not a valid certificate of occupancy for that usage at this property.
I think the community board voices their opinion on these things, not because of technical things, but because of what we feel it means to the community. I don't know if the community agrees, but I mean, yeah, for us to disapprove something on a technical issue, I'm not.
And I mean, we could raise this to the SLA too and get their comment, but because the lag time on a liquor license can be quite long, I think this is why they accept applications for their judgment before there's a valid C of O, but don't issue a license until there is, because there can be a lag. And it's true that our CO application and the PA are existing in the DOB simultaneously, and we've been told that we can have that inspection happen at the same time or successively.
Do you have, let me ask you about the events that you ran this summer. How big were they? Other than, I guess you had a couple of weddings, the other events, the disco balls.
I would say on average, we had maybe 200 people, 300 people on average.
That's a lot.
There were outliers that had probably had an outdoor event that didn't happen inside the building. We probably had around 1,800 at an
And
event.
what event was that?
Tinky Disco.
1,800 outdoor.
Outside.
Where did they park? I mean, where did they have
It was
they-
primarily bikes.
Lots of bikes.
Bicycles.
Bicycles.
Was there, so you had alcohol there?
Yes.
You had a permit for alcohol, right? Any issues? I mean, were there any any issues with
No.
police or security? Did you have security there?
Yes, we had ample security. I think we had ample security. We had an on-site EMT. The only issue I can think of is we had one gentleman show up who we thought he was a little too far, and so we didn't let him in. The EMT gave him some attention, and then he was on his way. But otherwise, there were no issues.
What kind of alcohol? Beer, mixed drinks?
Beer and wine.
And wine, that's it.
Yep.
No, you had a question?
Hi, you had said earlier, Rose Johnson,
Hi, Rose.
Maspeth resident and member of the community board. You had said earlier that your events end around 10. I was reading here on Yelp, which you're familiar with. Yelp is a website, a social media website where you look up restaurants, and for the older folks who don't know what Yelp is.
I don't know what it
And, one of the, and of course this is incredible because it's just reviews, but one of the events apparently ended, the person said they were there till 6 a.m. in the morning dancing. So,
I
and of course they're not credible because this is a review, they could, so.
I'll clarify and I'll say that yes, the party event that we had ended at 10 p.m. It's not true that all of our events have ended at 10 p.m. I was referring specifically to the party-ish one.
Okay.
That would be the most like a club event. And so I'm just demonstrating that one thing that's sort of like a club event isn't because it was over at 10 p.m. However, we have had events that do go later. I don't, 6 a.m. isn't something we would have done, and it's not, and if.
This is the yoga,
Right, okay.
yoga-tastic, electric music?
So that one, there was no liquor there, there was no booze at all, and I think that they were there till 5, but it's the SLA that would stop something at a particular hour because there's booze present. In that particular case, there was not. And so I think that they were there till 4:30 or 5, but that's an isolated and strange event, but a good one. I mean, it's, like
I have another.
Go ahead.
I also read that you have a shuttle bus from the L train bringing people back and forth.
we have done, that has happened at events that we've
Okay, and what events does that happen at? Like Tiki Disco or?
Tiki Disco had a shuttle. I think the Red Bull Music Academy ran a shuttle. I think. And that might be, I struggle to remember. I think that might be it.
Okay.
How,